Okay.
Go.
Mark Willett.
You lost the pint-sized pick'em, and 3-year-old Jude has defeated you.
And Rich Orenberger.
He is a jerk. He was very smug.
Why? Just because he was like, Chargers.
Mark and Rich.
On Xtra 1360, FM 103.3, Fox Sports 1350 in the IE, and iHeartRadio wherever you may be. This is Mark and Rich. Live and local, noon to 3 every single day into our final hour with plenty of let me clear my throat. JD Wicker still with us, and we got all kinds of stuff to talk to him about. We're going to do that right now. Rocky Long with some quotes that we'll play for you that will appear in full on the Rocky Long Show coming up tonight on Xtra. You can hear it every single Wednesday at 6 o'clock with Rich and Judd. Very, very good stuff always. We love talking to Rocky, so that is still ahead. PPK in a little bit, and also John Schaefer. Any reaction to you making the top of the hour updates on Xtra 1360 today? How about that?
Oh yeah, no, he is he's important, and he's loved, and we want him to know that. And everybody, it seems, on both the text line at 70470, start the message with Xtra if you want to reach us there, and Twitter. Both of I'm certain that your page is blown up. Everything that's attached to me is attached to you as well.
No doubt.
The Iron Piglet is the overall favorite on the name of the new Schaefer baby.
I think that
like
we
that.
can, at least until birth, we can call him that. And
even
JD, do you have any parenting advice for John? I know that you got some little
Two
ones there at the
daughters,
house
yeah.
too.
I
Yeah,
have 2 daughters, a 5-year-old and a 9-month-old today. Hello,
Wow.
Scarlett and Waverly. I understand they're listening at home.
Hi, Scarlett and Waverly. Happy Halloween.
Hi, guys. Do you want a little brother?
Hey, that was awkward. But okay.
I think more than anything, it's whatever your lovely wife says or asks for, you say yes.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
There you go.
figure that out,
you go.
because trust me, the work that she's putting in is nothing compared to what you're going to be doing.
And it's
So
been tough for me.
Yeah, you really
That's
been
good.
struggling. You've really been working hard, I
The
can
life
tell.
of a male during pregnancy is just crazy. Yeah, so very difficult. By the way, JD, what are the girls? At least the older one. What are they tonight?
Scarlett is going as Rainbow Dash,
Of course.
from My Little Pony.
So am I.
And then, and you should ask Costa about that. Waverly is going as Spike the Dragon, which is part of My Little Pony.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the show. Love it. Episode 2, season 3 was one of the best. Really
Rich has
tearjerker, honestly.
No clue what My Little Pony is at all with his 2 little boys at home. But anyway, all good. All right, JD, give us the goods. What are these inside polls that no one will tell anybody about saying? You guys got this thing wrapped up, right?
I don't know. The one thing I would definitely say for folks is vote.
Yes,
on Tuesday, everyone should get out and vote, exercise your constitutional right to vote. And obviously, we're excited about the opportunities in Mission Valley that could be afforded San Diego State. If Measure G is successful on Tuesday, I think the poll that the UT put out recently, that seems to be indicative of other things that I'm hearing out in the community. So, but again, I everyone should vote. And I think, one other thing to note on that is there's talk from others talking about how the other measure supports SDSU, meets the needs of SDSU, accommodates SDSU, and that's just not true at all. The other measure does not meet the needs of San Diego State in any way, shape, or form, nor does it accommodate us today, tomorrow, 5, 10, 50 years from now.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know how much you can say, obviously, but I certainly can say this. If they were going to meet all the needs, if that criteria was met, of course, both sides, FS investors in San Diego State, at one point were at a bargaining table trying to sort this whole thing out, and those sides fell apart for obvious reasons. And it's because I think you can support on the side of FS, it just felt this whole way like there was more greed and more desire to take away from the middle of the table as opposed to let something great occur at Mission Valley. And that's where I want to concentrate this conversation with you, because there's obviously a lot of blighted land there. It's a huge parking lot. There's nothing green about it. When you look at a map of San Diego, it's a beautiful area. And then you have this little pothole in San Diego where this stadium sits, an aging relic. What do we see when we get the vision, San Diego State's vision of Mission Valley, voted through come Tuesday?
Yeah, I think the great thing is we've looked at the whole site and we're designing something that meets the needs of the community in San Diego. We've gone out and we've talked with people. We've done well over 100 meetings where we've engaged the community. We've been part of the Mission Valley Planning Group as they redo their master plan for Mission Valley. We've been a part of that as well, and they came out and endorsed Measure G. So you're going to get to see a river park that's going to not only help an area that's underparked in Mission Valley, but it's something the entire community can be a part of. And at some point in the future, you'll have basically a path, a run bike path that starts somewhere in East County, comes through Mission Valley, which part of our property will be there, and we'll go to Mission Bay, where you'll be able to go all the way along the river, the San Diego River, and get from East County out to the bay.
And that's similar to what they did around Sail Bay, Mission Bay area with the boardwalk that everybody enjoys, that breezeway in front of the beaches there. So you got the river park, and obviously a stadium is a focal point for a lot of people listening to this station. If it should pass, when do we get working on a new stadium?
We'll start immediately with the city on the negotiation for the sale of the property and look to put a shovel in the ground sometime the first quarter of 2020. We'll have the sales agreement done. The environmental impact report will be done, and get moving on a stadium and a river park in the first quarter of 2020 is what we're looking at, and be playing in a new stadium in September of 2022.
J.D. Wicker, the athletic director with the Aztecs, is with us on Mark and Rich. J.D., I wonder if this is the first time in your life that you've been so close to a campaign and an election, and if so, what has this process been like for you, and what have you learned?
This is definitely the first campaign I've been this involved in, as you look at the Mission Valley project and all the different pieces that have been part of it. I was named AD here actually 2 years and 1 week ago, and it's been Mission Valley pretty much the entire time. So it's definitely learned a lot about hydrology. I've learned a lot about real estate development. I've learned a lot about, local politics and what all that means. And, it's exciting to see how it works. And obviously we're hopeful that we're going to have the opportunity to build something in Mission Valley here shortly. So, but I'm definitely ready for Tuesday.
The alumni base, it's gigantic. People who go to the school at San Diego State and then decide to homestead here. They just say, this is it for me. I love the opportunities. Not only did the degree provide me, but also if I can find work, and often do, I'll stay here because of the destination and the beauty and the qualities this area have that we all enjoy. That alumni base, very active. You see them on social media. You see them at events that Measure G and the Friends of Sdsu have held. What has been the overwhelming vibe you get from the supporters of your measure, of the measure that supports San Diego State? Is this something it's almost like, well, thank goodness we have something to vote on for our school? Or it doesn't feel like it's been anywhere in between. It feels like it's been full throttle in your direction.
I think the great thing with the community, and you look at all of the endorsements that Measure G's gotten, is the expansion of higher education. People really recognizing, and I don't know that it had ever really coalesced before, but the understanding of how important San Diego State is for the community of San Diego, $5.67 billion in economic impact, and the opportunity to expand what is a landlocked campus right now and grow that economic impact by some larger figure, per year, that you can, churn out more graduates to, go into nursing, teaching, but then also government and all of the different, corporations in town. I mean, you look across the C-level suites of all of these corporations, you're going to find an Aztec in there. So that's exciting. And then, we're going to build a community-based stadium. We're building a stadium for Aztec football, but it's going to work for soccer, and it's going to work for any other events that the community of San Diego wants to see. So yeah, it's about the community, and I think, so much of the community is San Diego State alums, and they get it.
You mentioned soccer there, JD, and I know we've talked about this before. I wonder if there's any update, any discussions, in terms of if this, then that have taken place with the MLS. If you win next Tuesday, do you call them? Do you wait for them to call you? Where does that stand?
We will most certainly reach out to the MLS after Tuesday night if we have the opportunity to move forward on the stadium. We will definitely reach out to them first thing and look to have that conversation and just let them know that, one, we're building a stadium that will work for MLS soccer, and two, that, you know, we're interested in, you know, is it something they have partners that are lined up out there? I mean, obviously there's a group in San Diego that says they want to bring MLS to San Diego. We're happy to partner with them in a stadium, or is it someone else? So we're excited about those opportunities.
You know, all the while, obviously, you have, well, now it's going to be two of your major sports going on, as the football team has done incredible things given such obstacles. And I want to concentrate on the football team, and then we'll get, obviously, to men's basketball tipping off against Chaminade in an exhibition tomorrow night. And their first regular season game actually tips off on election night at Viejas Arena next week. But this football team, and covering it from the color analysis standpoint, and meeting with Rocky every week and seeing him obviously all the time on the road, on the field, pregame, and all these things, he rarely compliments himself. He finds a way to always steer the conversation back to what he needs to work on. So I'll allow you, the athletic director, to sort of maybe sing his praises, because what I've watched a 6-2 football team able to do, as short-staffed as they've been, at skilled position, especially on offense, no fullback, and we know how important that is to the run game and how San Diego State football plays, and no running back in Juwan Washington, I mean the starters, and no quarterback with Christian Chapman going down. Rocky Long was a hire at first from a staff that was here. What has he become to you as an athletic director as you've seen him grow a program that's this resilient?
You know, the great thing about Rocky is he wants to do it the right way, and he's going to do it the right way. And it, you know, no matter what the implication is, whether it's negative to him or not, he's going to do it the right way. And that's really important. He brings in great coaches who want to recruit great kids, and they bring kids into the program who they want to be here and they want to be successful on the field and they want to get to that next level, but they also know that they have to do it in the classroom as well, and we've been able to do that. And again, I think it's something that gets lost out there in the world when, you know, you start talking about somebody hires a coach and 4 games in they haven't been doing what they're supposed to do, and everyone's hair's on fire.
Right.
You have to give people a chance to implement what it is that they're going to do. So Rocky has built this program into something where you can beat Arizona State and Boise State with your backup quarterback. You can win 6 games with basically the backup backfield because you've got such stability in the program and you've brought great people in and they've been in the program. So more than anything, the stability that Rocky has brought to the program has, helped him establish a winning program, and kids want to come and be a part of that. And it doesn't hurt that he's one heck of a football coach.
Yeah. Aztec AD JD Wicker with us, Mark and Rich. We talk a lot about this on this show, JD, when, a day like today, for instance, college football playoff rankings are out, and here's UCF, and there's this nationwide argument about, how high should they be ranked, what opportunities should they have. One thing I know I certainly support, and I think, Rich, you do too, UCF has been very vocal.
Sure.
They do a lot of different things in order to, some might say, get attention, but in their position, some also understand they have to if they want to achieve their goals. And sometimes I look at San Diego State, you, Rocky, you guys are so classy. Sometimes maybe almost in a situation like this, would you agree, to a fault? Like, does San Diego State need to be louder about the achievements?
Yes and no. Definitely look at some of the things that UCF has done, and just that's not where we want to go. I mean, claiming a national championship last year, it's a great marketing tool, and it probably fired up their fan base, but I don't know that the rest of the country really looked at it. The one thing I will say for them, and I would say, we have better wins than they do, but they're 20? They've won their last 20?
Yeah.
I mean, to win 20 games in a row, even Alabama hasn't done that with the talent that they've got. So that's something special. And, last year when we were rolling at 6-0 and we had beaten Stanford and we had beaten Arizona State, we were, it was something else. And then we hit a little bit of a road bump. But, we're going to keep talking, and we missed an opportunity this past weekend. I mean, I think Rocky would tell you that, we missed an opportunity. We beat Nevada I think there's a decent shot that we're in the CFP top 25. So you got to go out there and you have to perform each week, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think one thing, and y'all were talking about expansion of the college football playoff. If Notre Dame gets into the playoff this year and somehow the SEC has 2 teams in and then there's Clemson, you'll see the expansion of the playoff pretty quick.
Yeah, it feels like it's trending that direction because they're gonna have eyes on the prize, and the prize at the end of the day is how much money they can make in advertising and ratings, and that's a big part of this. But the rankings are an interesting thing, and I think you're right. You beat Nevada year in as far as the top 25 goes, college football playoff rankings. Again, men's basketball tipping off tomorrow night, Chaminade exhibition. Tickets still available. GoAztecs.com for those. But here's an interesting thing you got going, a number 2 ranking in the Mountain West for the men's basketball team. Brian Dutcher also in his second year. First year went pretty well. You have the tournament berth. Dutcher, to me, just straight arrow guy. I every time we have him on the show, in studio or otherwise, we had him on earlier this week. He's just a phenomenal chat. What has it been like seeing him take that second chair, moving it over one, and finally have the opportunity to call this his team?
I know he, 19 years, I think, is Fisher's number 2 at San Diego State. So he was eager and ready to do it, and he did it in a very thoughtful way. Obviously, one of his great quotes was, usually when a new coach comes in, they talk about they have to change the culture. He's like, well, I don't have to change the culture. I helped build the culture. So he went in and, made some subtle changes, and they had some speed bumps last year. I mean, part of it is him learning that, he is the top dog. He has to have the final say, all those types of things. But he kept his message consistent through a lot of injuries and other pieces last year. So I think last year was a great learning experience for him, and really happy for him and the team that, it came together like it did at the end of the year, and really excited about the players that they have coming in this year. It's going to be a fun group, a couple new assistant coaches as well to get in, but I think they're going to do well, and I'm excited for, folks to come out and see them at Viejas.
J.D. Wicker, the athletic director at San Diego State, wonderful stuff. And we want to give you one more chance, to pass along your overall, 20-second message to voters as we get ready for Tuesday. And I'll remind everybody that this show has consistently reached out to Nick Stone and FS Investors the last few months.
Yep.
So if you're having any equal time thoughts, they don't respond anymore. So you take that for what you will. With regard to their thoughts on what's going on, but we'll offer it to you, JD. What is it you'd like to say to voters as we get ready for Tuesday?
Yeah, I think the opportunity for San Diego State to expand into Mission Valley, an institution that's been here for 121 years, and it's obvious when you've been here that long and you have so many alumni in the area that it's an institution that's going to do it the right way. We're going to follow CEQA. We're going to be thoughtful. We're going to reach out to people. We're going to build a great river park. We are going to build a community-based stadium that's good for everybody, and the expansion of San Diego State University and a $5.67 billion economic impact. I don't know that there's any plan out there anywhere that could beat that. So, encourage people to definitely get out and vote. How you vote is obviously your choice, but SDSU Mission Valley offers something for every person in this community.
JD?
If we get this done, I'm going to swim that river all the way to the bay.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
There you go.
I'm selling the tickets for that.
Yeah.
That's right. In your Halloween costume.
That's right. Yeah. It'll be a cow in San
in
Diego
your cow
River.
costume.
Yeah.
No, great stuff. Listen, you got to believe this man, everybody. He's the first person in the history of this show to be a double correct Lifeline list player. That's never happened before. J.D. Wicker, thanks for coming by, bud.
All right, guys. I appreciate it very much. Go Aztecs.
There you go. The athletic director at San Diego State, J.D. Wicker on Mark and Rich.